To read or not to read? That is a really silly question. Of course, we're going to read. This is, after all, a BookTube channel. Welcome to Shelf Aware. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. Today, I want to talk to you about the tragedy of Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark by William Shakespeare, which is arguably the greatest piece of literature ever written in the English language. I say arguably because I'm sure there are those who disagree, but it is believed to be so by many, and it is an incredible piece of work. It has influenced so much of the literature that has come after it that it is just, without a doubt, one of the most influential pieces of writing that you can find in the English language. Even The Lion King can find its roots in Hamlet, and that is an amazing thing, but it's there. So why am I reading Hamlet right now, and why am I talking about Hamlet on this BookTube channel? I mean, it's not a new release. It's not on, anybody's radar as something they need to go on and look up a video for unless they happen to be taking an English class or just have a real passion for, Shakespeare. Well, the reason that I'm reading it right now is because I teach high school English, and we're getting ready to launch into a full unit on William Shakespeare. Now, we've done a bit of dabbling in British literature over the course of the year so far. We've read excerpts from Beowulf, and we've read the prologue of the Canterbury Tales, as well as the Wife of Bath's Tale, and dipped into a few others. We've read Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. What a wonderful poem that is, and then we've also looked at Le Morte d'Arthur a little bit. So we've dabbled in British literature, but this is the first work that we'll have looked at in its entirety. Now, I use the word reading loosely because I am of the opinion that Shakespeare's plays were intended to be viewed, not read. The ones who were reading the scripts were the actors. The general public who interacted with Shakespeare's work were watching it being performed in front of them. And so for me, the best way to engage with or to read Shakespeare is to watch or listen to the plays. And I'm curious to know what you think about that. To have read Shakespeare, must one have actually physically read the script itself? Or is listening to a live performance or a recorded performance adequate? Or is watching the play sufficient? That's actually one of the reasons that the piece of cinematography that we're going to be using for my class is Kenneth Branagh's version, because Branagh is loyal to every single line of the play. It's all there. And so I am of the opinion that listening to an audiobook is a way to read. And if that holds true, then watching a film that fairly and accurately represents a piece of literature could be considered reading as well. My plan for this unit is that we will watch each act, and then I'll select a particular scene from each act as a representative piece of the work, and that we'll do a closer examination and analysis of it by reading the scene and looking into the themes and the character development that are present there. Now, I say all of that simply to bring up that question. Is reading the act of looking at letters on a page and interpreting those for yourself? Or is listening to an audiobook considered reading? Or is watching a film considered reading? Is the act of reading the actual decoding of letters to build an understanding? Or is it simply the partaking of stories? What do we mean when we talk about reading? So the question to read or not to read that I began with is actually a fair one, and it's the one that this video today is hoping to examine. If we are going to engage with literature, I think it's important to engage with it in a way that is most accessible to the individual who is doing the reading, right? Reading is about more than the mechanics of breaking down words on the page. Reading is about partaking of a story, of recognizing the structure and the development of the plot and the characters within the story, of identifying the themes that are being pushed forward through the narrative and drawing conclusions that ultimately shape not only our understanding, but even our identity. And my opinion is that you don't necessarily have to be looking at ink on the page in order to accomplish those purposes. Now, that's not to say that I'm against physically reading. I am a huge fan of it. After all, I am an English teacher and also a pastor, and I believe that reading is an important skill that we need to develop. But I also want to go on record as saying that I think reading is a whole lot more than the mechanics of interpreting the print upon the page. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please let me know in the comments what you think. Is listening to an audiobook reading? Can I say, after having watched Branagh's version of Hamlet, that I have read Hamlet? Or do I actually have to pick up the book and turn the pages for myself? I can't wait to see your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and help me grow it into something more than what it is at the moment, which is, I think, about 3 of us. So welcome aboard Shelf Aware. I hope that you enjoy your stay here. Have a great day.